Hey guys, how are you? Hope everything is going well for you. Um, man, I'll try to speak slowly today because I just have this rant that I wanna talk about. And mainly, it's Congo. You know, um, there's been a few things. There's always something not good happening in Congo. Nothing good, really, that the whole world can be surprised of, and all that stuff comes out of Congo. Not just Congo, I think out of Africa, to be honest. Most of the time, it's just like, really? That happened? Anyway, a few weeks ago, Congo had a coup attempt. Some guys from America or somewhere, or they had American passports, wanted to pretty much overtake the government. They attempted to. Luckily, it was thwarted, and and the guys, I think, are in prison, or maybe they've been even let go. Just depends on how much money they're willing to pay. That's how things work over there, you know. But there's just a few things I want to talk about. I strongly believe anything and everything that happens in Congo and in Africa in general, but this time I'm just gonna use Congo, is because of the Congolese people. It's not because of the Americans. It's not because of the British. It's not because of the Arabs. It's not because of the Jews in Israel. None of that happens. None of them are to blame. The biggest blame should go towards the Congolese people. And here is why. Okay? First of all, I want, especially for Africans, I want all of you guys to know that the world there's no such thing as a global village. No such thing as a global village. Here's one thing I want you to know. Every person likes where they're born and where they live. Every person likes that. Unless something goes horribly wrong in their country, then they want to leave. But everyone likes where they live. However, if they could go to another place and make a little bit of money, the right way or the wrong way, and then take it home with them and live a better life in their own country, most people would do that. Okay? Otherwise, if everything was cool in every country, people would be traveling, yes, but there will be less people trying to leave their country to go to another country. Why? You can see that with most of people from Scandinavian countries. Free healthcare, free this, the happiest people live in Finland, all those things. You don't see Finnish people trying to run away from Finland. No, why? But they do travel. Okay? So, once you know that people from other countries would be willing to come and get your stuff and make money off you so that they can go back to their country, then it is your duty to protect what you have. And it doesn't mean, you don't allow people to come to your country. You allow people to come to your country, but you set up rules that benefit you before they benefit them. That's how every country has developed in this world. Look at it. Who's that guy? You guys call him Alexander the Great. I just call him Alexander, the Macedonian. If you go to Greece or Macedonia, there's nothing there, man. The place is horrible. Okay, you can have like nice beaches like Santorini, but there's nothing special about these countries. Not like, oh, they have minerals or most of the people were just farmers over there. That's it. But you know what this dude did? He said, you know what? I'm going to go around the world and do something, and I take those money, the wealth that I'm going to get, and I'm going to send it back to my country. And that's what this man did. The great Shaka did similar stuff. He wanted to expand his kingdom. See, you remember what I'm saying? I said Alexander the Macedonian, and I said Shaka the Great in your face. Especially Africans, they get upset. Oh, Shaka was a savage. Oh, get out of here, man. That's how they've brainwashed your way of thinking, mate. You know, Shaka killed less people than Alexander, but you are so willing to call Alexander the Great. Get out of here. You know. Anyway, let me not go off course here, because this is very important. Okay, so we have all these things that happen in the Congo. You know, and the Congolese like to blame anyone and everybody but themselves. You know, oh, Kagame is doing this. The United States is doing this. Museveni is doing this. You know, here's the thing. The Zambian president went to China. He had a state visit to China maybe a year or so ago, but a few months ago, right? When he went there, he visited a few factories. One of the factories he visited is Ganfeng. Ganfeng, I think, is one of the biggest factories in China that produces batteries, lithium-ion batteries. You know, the ones that Tesla uses, the ones that all these electric companies use. That's why, you know, a bulk of electric companies in this world are coming from China. Now, when the president asked this man where they get their minerals from, he said, we get them from Australia and Congo. Specifically mentioned these two countries. Okay? Now, let me tell you something. I'm in Australia right now. In Australia, miners are some of the highest paid people in the country. Miners. And it doesn't matter what you do. You know, you could be an engineer, you get paid really well, or you could be at the bottom where people, all you do is just pack parts in a factory or in a warehouse. As long as you're working for a particular, you're making $160,000 or something like that, Australian dollars, which should be about maybe 130 American dollars. So people that like to use six figures, that's six figures. If you are willing to work harder, you do long hours, you'll make something like that. You know, I know a lot of students like to do those jobs because they also cover them like during, you know, some of them are, these places are open 24/7. So you go to school in the morning, you go to work after school, and you still make really, really good money. You know, but when the president of Zambia was in Congo, in China, the CEO of this Ganfeng, he didn't say we paid $200 for minerals coming from Australia and we paid $20 for minerals coming from Congo. He didn't say that. It's the same price. Same price. Congo or Australia, we pay the same price. So let me tell you something. And this is across board, but I'm just using Congo as an example. Okay? So, Congolese have to ask themselves, why is it that most of the minerals are leaving their country and they are not? They are not. Most of the minerals around the world are coming from Congo and they are not benefiting from it. Why is it that? Is it because of Kagame? Or is it because of Museveni? No, it's not because of these people. It's because of your leaders. It's because of you. Because you choose these leaders. And I'll tell you why. And I want you to listen. This is just Africans in general. I want you to listen here and listen very, very carefully. Here is why the blame is entirely on Congo and the Congolese people. Every president of Congo that has left, let's not even go back to Mobutu. We can say, forget Mobutu. Right? There was the Kabila, the young guy. You know, he looked like he's going to reinvent things and do things. No, it's still the same Congo. This guy has come in. It's still the same Congo. Nothing is happening. Okay? Now, the Zambian president, and I'm not saying the Zambian president is right, but I'm just telling you how these things, some of why the reason is always on us as Africans. But in this case, I'm using Congo. The Zambian president goes to the Congolese president and say, you know what, there's a border between Zambia and Congo. It's called Kasumba Lesa. You can look this up. This place is just ridiculous. Trucks parked there for months. For months. Because that's the entry to get into Congo from trucks from South Africa, trucks from Tanzania. Most of those trucks go up through Zambia to get into Congo through this border. Some of these trucks will stay at the border for months. Not because the drivers have the wrong papers or anything like that. It's just because the process there is too slow and there's so much corruption at this border. You know, the Zambian president said we should make this border 24/7. not just 8 hours. Let's make it 24/7 so trucks can go through. Good for business, good for everybody. The Zambian president today even said, on our side, we are ready to go. Up to now, nothing has happened from the Congolese side. Is it Kagame who caused that? No. Is it Museveni who caused that? No. Museveni didn't even know this was being talked about. Okay? It's neither of these other guys. It's just Congolese leaders and the Congolese people. If you want to go and do a business in Zambia right now, you can. I'm not saying Zambia is the best country in Africa. No, but I'm just giving it as an example. You can. There's a place called Pakra where you go. And it's a government department. You go there, you can register a business. It takes a little bit longer. Rwanda is better. You can do that in like 6 hours, register a business. And you can operate. In Zambia, you can operate your business, you can build your houses, and no one is going to bother you. You don't necessarily have to pay someone in government to protect you. You don't have to do that. You really don't. You don't have to do that. In Congo, you can't do business. You have to have protection, and protection is the people in government. So you gotta know someone or somebody or so many people for you to run a business. Is that because of Is that because of Museveni? No. Is that because of Kagame? No. It's just Congo and the Congolese people. Okay? Now, here's the biggest takeaway that everyone wants to think about. Almost every president who has left Congo, whether it's after their 10 years ended, whether they die or whatever, has died with billions and billions and billions of dollars. Excuse me. Most of them rule for 10 years. By the time that 10 years is finished, they are billionaires. They have, money all over the world. They have mansions all over the world. They are rich, filthy rich. Now, that's not Kagame. That's not Museveni. That's just your leaders. And you choose these people. So, it's you. So you have to look in the mirror. Let us stop this notion of, it's the United States. It's this. It's this. It's England. It's the Arabs. No. Listen here. So, let's say every 10 years, the president of Congo lives with $1 billion or at least $500 million. Okay? So let's go with $1 billion. So if we say $1 billion, that means every year this president is making $100 million. 10 years is equal to $1 billion. Now, if these presidents' focus was for the people of Congo, what's the one thing that Congo needs? Because when you are so wealthy, that's why if you go to Africa, if you are in Africa and you are in better suburbs, like rich suburbs, you see they've put up the fence, they've put up the electricity thing, they even have a security company you can call in case there's any suspicious activities around their house. Why do you think they've done that? Because they want to have the security. Because they're living in a place where they have rich, where the gap between the haves and the have-nots is quite high. And usually in those places, crime goes up. But you still want to try to live relatively in peace. Especially when you are home, you want to be at peace. So what you do, you pay for security. The same sort of setup goes with countries. If you want peace, you develop a strong army that everyone is. That's why in the United States, if you want peace, that's why these guys spend so money in defense. You go to Russia, Australia, England, China, France. All these countries spend ridiculous amounts of money in defense because you know what? Because they want peace. So, one thing I've learned from here and also from my mentor, Charlie Manga, is that you have to deserve what you want. So if you want peace, make sure you deserve peace. Okay? If you want peace in your country, make sure you deserve peace. So, here is how you create peace in a place like Congo. The reason why there's always militias, right? It's because of this. Most of the Congolese soldiers, police officers, they're not even paid. They are paid, sometimes it goes for months without them getting paid, but the president is making hundreds of millions of dollars. They're not paid. So if a group from, could be anywhere, and could be anywhere in the world, you know, the governments from where they come from doesn't even know these people. They just see an opportunity in a place where there's no proper governance and everything looks weak. Okay? So they'll come there and try to create up a militia so they can take those minerals for free. And that's because, and people, the Congolese people will join. They will join this militia because the militia says, we are going to pay you $100 every month. If you work for the government, how much do you get paid? Oh, we get paid $20, and sometimes we don't even get paid. We get paid 6 months late, whatever late. How do you think they will look after our families? So if I'm going to get $100 from this guy, which, by the way, is still nothing, but it's something. It's better than $20. You know, this one is $100 guaranteed every month. Or the government, $20, you don't even know when you're going to get paid. Who do you think you're going to go with as a normal human being? You're going to go with the guy paying you something bigger. That's just a normal human being's choice. Okay? So, you have to deserve what you want. What should the Congolese government or a president who cares about his people? Someone who's sharp, who's thinking. Remember, someone like a Lee Kuan Yew, you put your people first. This is what they should be doing. Instead of taking that $100 million and enriching themselves, take even half of that. Create a super army. Invest in your army. You buy military equipment. You buy not just the AK-47s. You invest. If you go around the world, you can even get these things on credit. And it's going to pay itself off. Because you invest in your army. Could be the police officers. It could be the soldiers. But mainly, you invest in security. So, instead of taking $100 million to enrich yourself as a president, take that money and invest it in the safety, in the security of the country. You can employ 250,000 strong soldiers. 250,000. Okay, even that's maybe even too much. Let's just say you can employ 80,000. 80,000 strong army. Well paid, build the houses for them. So you create a value for them. They see the value of defending their country. And you show them, you put the reason why people are so down in Africa. Because we don't have a vision that people believe in, that people can see. You know why going to the moon, going to Mars, people do it? In the United States, in Russia, and all these things, why people do that, it's not even about the money, because most of these things don't even make money from it. But you know what? Some of you are just think it's inspiring people. Imagine sending something out of your planet to go to another planet. It inspires people. That's it. It inspires the whole country. That's it. In Africa, very few governments have inspired their people with their vision, because people don't even know. Actually, that's because nothing changes. Whether it's this president or this president, I'm still going to be poor. I'm still not going to have a job. I'm still not going to be nothing. So these governments have never inspired people. But if you can even inspire your army, and an example, I would say Singapore. In Singapore, public servants get paid very well. And they've realized if we pay these people well, then we will minimize corruption. You're never going to end corruption, but you can minimize it. Everywhere in the world there's corruption. But you can minimize it to where it doesn't become detrimental to the development of your country. You can do that. And if these people, because what Congo needs is security. That's the most important thing. And the reason why Congo needs security the most is because Congo has minerals. Rich minerals. Once they do that, once you create an army, you create a police force where people are inspired, people know within their country they can have their families well looked after and everything is going well, then those people are more willing to do their job. There will be no militia. People, the Congolese themselves will be able to die for their country because they can see you doing something. That's going to take a little bit of education, because people have been have become used to not trusting in the government. And that's one thing. That's the first thing you need to do. Now, once you do that, the people you saw, I know this is what Africans do. Because of the coup and there was American, and this is us, we've been conditioned to think like this. It's ridiculous. Because there was a coup, and some of the guys there had American passports. Then it's, the American government. No, it's not. The government of America doesn't even know. They separate military. Even, I'll tell you an example. When Trump was president, and he's going to do the same thing next year when he's president. When Trump was president, okay, he did not use the CIA. He did not use the CIA. He hired a private, like CIA kind of thing. He didn't trust the CIA because they thought they were rubbish. He didn't use them. So within America, there's all these different militias that you can hire. Anybody can go and hire them, and they can do your dirty jobs. So just because these guys are American passport doesn't mean American government send them to cause that. No, it doesn't. It's just American kids probably working with some Congolese kids, people from Congo, who realize that the Congolese government is so weak and the Congolese people are so weak, we can go there. If we move like this, move like that, we will be able to take over the government because they're so weak. And this is why it's not good to be weak. I want you to listen to this. And I keep saying this, if there was a global village, yes, things would be better, but it's not a global village, it's a jungle. And if you are in Africa, go through the jungle one day and just observe how even little creatures survive that environment. Everything, if you're not in Africa, watch a wild animal documentary. You're going to see that even the smallest animal has found a way to protect itself, because you have to deserve what you want. Nothing is for free, Africans. Nothing is for free. You cannot be just doing speeches. You cannot just be crying all the time. Oh, they did this to us. They did this to us. Now, everything that's happening to you, everything that they're doing to you is because you are allowing them to. Okay? If in school, a kid is getting bullied, right? Bullied, boom, he goes crying. Bullied, boom, get hit, he goes crying. I don't know if you've seen the video where a kid one day got pissed off and grabbed the bully and pinned him and smashed him on the ground. The bully stood up and he went home crying. Do you think that bully will ever try to bully that kid? No. You know what that kid has just created for himself? Peace. Peace. Now he can walk in that school with his head held high. He can study because he knows no one is going to mess with him. That's it. Developing an army is not about going to attack other countries. No. Developing a strong army is about defending yourself. Look at North Korea. I would rather be in North Korea than be in Congo. Like, at least in North Korea, people know their government can defend them. And the cities in North Korea look way better than most cities in in Africa. So these are some of the reasons why you should know that, first of all, the things that are happening, not just in Congo, in Africa, it's because we allow these things to happen. Once we realize that, then we have to look ourselves in the mirror and say, okay, how can we stop these things from happening from us? And we have to develop our own ways of doing things. This time we just copy. There was a philosopher, an American philosopher, I think it was called Emerson. Emerson, what? He had a funny name. I'll put it in the description. His exact name. He said something quite important. To imitate is suicidal. So because your neighbor has bought a nice car, you go and buy. You don't know why he's bought a nice car. You go and buy it. It's called keeping up with the Joneses. So something we do in Africa. Up to now, most countries still follow the constitution that the British left behind. A lot of stuff. Nigeria means nigger area. And they still use the name today. Population of 200 million people, they can't come up with a better name. They can't say, you know what, let's change this name. It's ridiculous. No, they'll even fight you if you were to advise them that. But everyone knows there's power in names. Okay? So, if Congo and Africa at large wants these other people to stop messing in your business, because look at this. No one messes with Middle Eastern countries, right? Like, we know there's something happening there right now, which is horrible. But if you look around, most Middle Eastern countries, they take care of things themselves. Saudi Arabia takes care of its business. The whole Arab Emirates, takes care of its own business. They've done things their own way. They own their oil wells, and they create cities just around that investment. That's the approach we need to look at. We don't need to have this approach of investors. When you have a bigger population around the world, in the continent, young people, there's plenty of money. There's plenty of money in Africa. Don't let anyone fool you. If governments were actually focused on investing in their own people, there should be every government should be sending at least 1,000 kids to go and study abroad in specific industries. And then when they come back, they're asked to set up things properly and set up proper institutions that monitor these people and let the nation be involved in that. That's how you do it. It's not complicated. It's not complicated at all. But we've been taught to think it's so complicated. It's so hard. Look at what's happening in South Africa. These guys can't even get along. Now, the white guys are doing this. Hey, watch these Africans. And then the white guy is going to see the cracks and they're going to come in, pow! And South Africa back to apartheid in the next 50 years. Not even, maybe 20 years. And South Africans will be happier to live in apartheid because they've seen what's happening with their own leaders. It's ridiculous. So, let me not, that's a topic for another day. However, Congo, everything that happens in Congo and in Africa at large is because we allow these things to happen. And it's high time we sat down, thought about this, and tried to think clearly. Look in the mirror. That's where the solution lies. Thank you, guys. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.